I'm Doug with Awake Stories, coming to you from the Tuscany region of Italy, and I've got a good one for you today. Let's talk about an overwhelming problem faced by Michelangelo: the constant struggle between artistic vision and the demands of powerful patrons. The Medici, the Pope, and other elite figures commissioned his work, yet they dictated terms, stifling his creative freedom. Pressured by financial need and political expectations, he wrestled with compromises that threatened the purity of his art. Whether sculpting David or painting the Sistine Chapel, he battled exhaustion, criticism, and the weight of expectations. His genius was undeniable, but his soul was tormented. Perfection was his standard, yet the world around him often refused to understand the burden of such a gift. Michelangelo, the master sculptor and painter, saw the divine not just as a subject of his art, but as the very force that guided his hands. Raised in a deeply Catholic society, his faith was woven into every masterpiece he created. His frescoes in the Sistine Chapel, particularly the creation of Adam, reflect his vision of God the Father, an all-powerful yet intimate creator, reaching out to humanity with life-giving purpose. While Michelangelo revered Christ, his writings and letters reveal a man wrestling with his own salvation, just like we do today. He saw himself as flawed, in need of grace, often expressing sorrow for his sins. Yet his sculptures, like the Pietà there behind me, depict Jesus as a profound blend of suffering and divinity, emphasizing both his sacrifice and his redemptive power. For Michelangelo, beauty was a pathway to God. He believed that art, properly executed, could draw people closer to the divine. In his final years, he wrote that all earthly pursuits fade, but faith in Christ remains. His legacy stands not just in stone and paint, but in his enduring testimony. God the Father is the great architect, and his beloved Son Jesus is our loving Redeemer.
But what of Michelangelo's family life? Needless to say, it was complicated. Born into a struggling Florentine family of minor nobility, he felt pressured to uphold their status, yet his passion for art put him at odds with their expectations. His father, Ludovico, discouraged his artistic pursuits, believing manual labor beneath their lineage. Michelangelo, however, was relentless. Despite early opposition, his success in sculpture and painting eventually provided financial security for his family. Over time, he took on the role of provider, supporting his brothers, and even handling their debts, though they often squandered his generosity. He remained deeply loyal to them, yet he struggled with feelings of frustration and duty. Though he never married, Michelangelo had close emotional connections, including a strong bond with his father and later a deep friendship with Vittoria Colonna, a noblewoman and poet. His letters reveal a man torn between devotion to his family and his all-consuming artistic calling. Through much sacrifice, he carved not only masterpieces in stone, but also a legacy of familial responsibility, one that weighed on him as heavily as his marble blocks.
Here we are in Florence, Italy, Medici Chapel. This gives you a much better view. Come over to the other side, the Madonna and Child with other images. I'm here in Florence, Italy, and want to briefly share with you some interesting comments about Michelangelo on the topic of liberty. Michelangelo's David isn't just a masterpiece of art, it's a timeless symbol of courage, individual strength, and the fight against oppression. But what does this statue have to do with American freedom? Standing at 17 feet tall, David represents the young shepherd who faced Goliath with nothing but faith and determination. Michelangelo captured him at the moment before battle, embodying the power of resolve and readiness. This isn't just a statue, it's a celebration of the individual's ability to confront overwhelming challenges. In the American spirit, David resonates deeply. The founding fathers, influenced by Renaissance ideals, embraced the notion of individuals standing firm against tyranny. Michelangelo's David became a symbol of moral courage and the belief that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when they stand for truth and liberty. So why does this matter? David reminds us that true strength comes from within and that the fight for freedom requires both conviction and preparation. These ideals are at the heart of America's foundation, a nation built on the courage of individuals to govern themselves. Michelangelo's David challenges us. Are we prepared to face our own giants?
What would the world be like if there were no Michelangelo? If he just disappeared from history or ceased to exist altogether? Well, there would be no statue of David in Florence, no Pietà of Mary and Jesus in the St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, no sculptures in the Medici Chapel tombs either, no day or night, no dawn or dusk, carved so masterfully. And the Sistine Chapel? Nope. It would probably have frescoes or artwork on the walls, but by another artist, Raphael, a contemporary of Michelangelo's. Probably still impressive, but the bold scale, dynamic figures, and masterful techniques Michelangelo used and really invented would not have been utilized or even really imagined by Raphael or other artists for some time. I, for one, am grateful for Michelangelo, who, as a practicing Catholic, depicted the human figure in a variety of poses, simply impressive. Because he did the work and did exist, we have scenes from Genesis, including the creation of Adam and Eve. Seeing God and Adam stretching out their arms and hands to touch, imbuing Adam with the spark of life, is one of the most famous and recognizable images in all of art history. The Sistine Chapel ceiling became an important influence on later artists, and its elements were and are still frequently imitated. In fact, in my opinion, the ceiling alone cemented Michelangelo as the greatest artist of his time, and probably of all time. He was thereafter called Il Divino, or in English, the Divine One. I thank God for Michelangelo. So now what? Michelangelo's life was a testament to faith, perseverance, and artistic mastery. But beyond his genius, he wrestled with pressures from patrons, family burdens, and the weight of his own soul. His struggles shaped his masterpieces, revealing a man devoted to both beauty and truth. What can we learn from his relentless pursuit of excellence? I invite you to familiarize yourself with his story, then pass it on. Teach your children about his determination, his faith, and his legacy. If history matters to you, subscribe, share, and take action, because the lessons of the past are meant to shape the future. Your journey begins here. Subscribe for more stories that shape our world.